Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a paid advertising. TheOnlyGround.com, onlyground.com is one of the most amazing places for information that I consistently go to. If you guys want to have conversations about our old interviews or even topics that we don't discuss, the group of people that are on the onlyground.com message boards are some of the most brilliant that I have ever come across. Those little like knick-knack facts that we get here and there, that's where a lot of it comes from. Please check out the link in the bio.
Welcome to the Lights Out Podcast. This is Chris Lights Out Lionel, and this is our journey to document the history of mixed martial arts. I have brought with me my friend, the MMA detective Mike Davis, and together we will preserve the history and hear some great stories from the world in the era of the no holds barred. Thank you and enjoy.
Welcome back to the Lights Out MMA History Podcast. I am Joey Venti. I'm here with the host of the show, Mike Davis. He's the MMA detective. I'm Herb Dean's dog sitter, and we have a special episode for you today. Today's guest is a fifth-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and a one-time UFC heavyweight title challenger. He's the man who crow-copped Gabriel Gonzaga. Thank you for being here. Along for the ride, once again, we're going to be joined by his BJJ coach, Wander Braga. Wander, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Gabriel, welcome, buddy. So,
what's up, guys?
Is this your first podcast that you've ever done?
No, I did a couple ones, but small ones as well. I don't know, like big events. I didn't do. I'm not. Man, the last time then I fought was 19, so long time out of the game already.
So you haven't done any interviews for a while, because I couldn't find any. I could other than like a media scrum. So
the truth is I'm not with him, so that's why he's not doing the podcast, because I'm his. I can do everything for him. You know what I mean?
so
I'm kidding.
So Wander, you're actually one of our more listened to and downloaded podcasts. I think we're almost at 5,000 downloads with your podcast, so it's doing very well. But Gabriel, you actually started jiu-jitsu at a very early age. So let's just start from the beginning. How do you wind up in Wander's gym?
Wander, he used to have a gym inside my condo, so was pretty much just walk by downstairs and go straight to the mat. So I was a teenager trying to look for something to learn how to defend myself, and was there.
So Wander, he never left the gym. He was there 24/7, huh?
Yes, he was, man. He was like a sponge, man. Like getting everything, man. He was into it, We call it the jiu-jitsu bug, He got the jiu-jitsu bug as soon as he steps into it. Very talent. I see the talent right away,
That's the next question. When do you realize that he's special?
Brother, first week, he was already like, because he was, I think he was 13, right, Napão?
Yeah, 13, 14 was like 1994, so I don't know the month.
Yeah, so he was 13 and like first week, he was already like sweeping guys from close guard, passing the guard. And he was a 13, 14 years old, really big too, And right away, I saw like, man, I can make this guy be a champion, you know what I mean?
So you saw right away, you kind of key on him. And then so Wander, you're not known for like as a black belt factory. Like there's certain black belts that kind of, you're just kind of like, man, how fast did he get it? Napão, how quick did you get your black belt?
5 years. But the gym in Wander didn't have many champions because it was a tough place. Back in the day, it wasn't like today, like people just bro. That was a tough way to learn something because if you do a mistake, just don't learn would be like knock your head over. You're not learning. Pay attention. Like, but it's really, really tough. So the majority of the people don't want to learn. The majority of people want to go there just to say they do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or to say they do. So if you really, really want to learn, and you have a coach like Wander, and later that on the process, Wander and George was teaching the same class. So and then George left again. So was a lot of tough to learn. Like, you didn't have space to just have a conversation, things like that. So the student, the gym was like pretty much for the guys that didn't wanna compete or fight or something. It wasn't his main job, right? So it was something that he was doing just to create fighters. So that's why I was there. So okay, I'm gonna learn as much as I can.
Okay. Before we really dive in, let's do our plugs. Now, Pao, would you mind giving a plug to your school?
In what sense?
Where you're located. So if somebody wants to go and roll with you.
Right now I'm in Massachusetts. I have a school in Worcester for almost 20 years, more than 15 years in Worcester, and we just opened a new place in Leominster 2 years, and we are opening another one in Holden here. So I'm pretty much in 3 places right now. It's hard to be. That's why I was a little late today, but yeah, we are in Massachusetts.
Good for you. And Wander, what about yourself?
I'm in North Carolina, Cornelius, North Carolina. I opened my first school over here 2 years ago. In March now, it's going to be 2 years ago. And opened my second one in Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And now we're going to open the third one also in North Carolina, in Concord location.
Good for you. In Nepal, one of the other coaches is Luis Soyo with you, another judo black belt.
Yeah,
very talented guy.
Yes. We just did a World Masters division, and I won the was Masters Judo.
Yeah,
and he did a couple of good fights too. So we went there and was in Vegas this year. So I said, let's try.
So Nepal, you're very early. You go to Wander's gym. You fall in love with jiu-jitsu. Now your parents expect you to be in school. They have a trajectory for where you're going to finish, and you get completely derailed with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, yes and no. My parents didn't care that much. So I was doing a regular school, right? 14 years old. So I was doing jiu-jitsu as just as a sport, but as much the times go, and was like first 3 months. That's funny. The first 3 months that I was fighting, training with Wander, I got like the yellow belt. That's a kid belt. And we went for the first Brazilian
competition. Yeah.
Okay. The first IBJJF. The time was IBJJF, was Brazilian Confederation of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, CBJJ, right?
Yeah. And I got the first place as a yellow belt there. So
did you see what I'm talking about? 3 months. In 3 months, I passed into yellow belt, and he fought CBJJ, which is IBJJF, and he won.
So he's pretty much sandbagging with 3 months of training.
Yes, I could put him as a white belt. You know what I mean? Like 3 months. No
one would believe it.
No, nobody would believe it. Like, I could put him as a white belt. you know, but he was like doing great at the school already. I say, okay, you're gonna fight as a yellow belt. Let's see how you do it.
Yeah.
And you got to think like his parents. Well, somebody has to be home to watch the child. What time are you gonna be home? Man, the kid's at jujitsu. You're like,
Yeah.
we're good. We don't have to come home. It's like
Man,
daycare.
like Napon was right, man. We should like, I think we should like try to kill each other all the time over there, man. You know, it was rough. It was like 2 hours of training probably. You know, we used to do everything a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, when you walk every single BJJ school, you don't see the train that we used to have there. We see that trend than we used to have there. Maybe in wrestling, they do have a really tough program for workout, but we did have that as well. Like I remember that, like 100 in transport judo takedown, 100 push-ups, 100
Yeah.
jumping jacks, 100. Everything was 100. So when I went for the abs, was 500. The abs was 500 abs every day. So when I remember that, if I do that with my students, I would have like 10 students.
In the police asking you about abuse. So Nepal, like for instance, Marco Huas always had like a rite of passage. The fighters knew that they were part of the team after Huas beat them up. Matt Hume was also known for that. Did you experience that at Wander's school?
Yeah. Yes and no, because the same thing. It was since from first day. If you don't get used to beat up in the first day, you would leave. Nobody would expel you. So because if you, I have like all my friends from the condo, they try, all of them, all like more than 30 guys. They did try, but they didn't stop. They would do like 6 months. Some guys do a little more, like 2 years, but they just stick because as better you get, worse the beat up become.
All right. So in terms of like jiu-jitsu politics, you kind of came after the Luta Livre Gracie Jiu-Jitsu feud.
Yes.
Correct?
I wasn't. I saw that little bit growing up. So I hear I hear a little bit the causes, then the fights in the streets, but I never really was on that because my generation was little
After.
after.
Yeah. Did you experience any gym rivalries growing up? Because as a kid being dug into your school, you're very proud of where you're working out at.
Rivalry was the good word because it was a healthy rivalry. So we had I had friends then they would go on ICQ. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was a chat ICQ.
Yeah.
They would argue with each other, have some problems, and say, okay, I'm going to meet you on the beach 6 o'clock to fight. So be ready. So they would get on the chat, schedule the fight with each other. But it was in a healthy way. So would fight, no cheap shots or things like that, and they would leave. Literally fight, like punching, fights. But after that, shake hands and go. So the guys would do some. I never did, but I had Tata students. I saw one of the Tata students doing that. And Tata is from the same generation of Wander, so was one of the heads that was in the gym too.
So they would fight, but they left the knives out of it. So that's an improvement from the previous generation.
The first generation, the majority didn't have fights. It's not a knife, but
No blowing up cars or anything like that, right?
When you knew who was, when you knew who was the guys, one of the guys was, I am from this gym, that would be a serious, loyal fight,
Oh, and by the way, I can't lie about that. I'll tell my students, okay, somebody show up from other school, you better kill them. That's it. That's it.
That's right. They walk through those doors.
That's it. That's it. And I was serious about it. If you guys don't kill him, I'll kill you guys.
Yeah.
That's it.
That time didn't have YouTube. That time didn't have videos that about. So when you want to learn something, you need to go to school. If someone come to visit you, it was going to test your gym. So if your gym is a weak gym, everybody would spread the words. Oh, we went there, we beat all of the guys there. So that was the way of training. The training was 100% seriously. If it was the guys from outside, it was mean training. It's different than training.
So you did get to experience a little bit of rivalry at Pride 20 when Ricardo Arona and Wanderlei Silva got into a fight with Brazilian Top Team versus, obviously you guys with Chute Box. What was that like? What was your experience like with that?
Like I said, I never get so deep on that, but I saw a lot of that. I see a lot of the guys. And my experience was more in the grappling on that time. That time I wasn't doing MMA. I was here and there doing some training with Wander, but more in the grappling aspect, like open hands, open hands, BJJ. I did not. That time I didn't do that much of stand-up, things like that. But yeah, I didn't see that much.
So, Wander, when you look at Brazilian Top Team and Chute Box, it's two completely different philosophies. Chute Box, overly aggressive, Muay Thai, Kyokushin style type striking. And then there's, Brazilian Top Team, which is more kind of like a methodical jiu-jitsu. I think Nepal going from being your student over to that aggressive style probably was the best way to round him out. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Was that on purpose?
Yes, but man, George, we had the mentality with George. You know what I mean? My coach George.
Yeah, already.
Yes, we were training George. He was.
Are you talking about George? You're talking about
Pereira. George Pereira.
Okay.
Yes, my coach. When I say my coach, George is my coach, right?
Okay.
So George has that aggressive mentality already, man. And at the beginning it was hard because we were we could not bring a Muay Thai guy, a boxing coach, or to the gym because George wants to kill the guy. But then finally later we had Wagner Coelho, my boxing coach, my Muay Thai coach, that he start getting into George and talk to George and explain him how important was. You know what I mean? And then he accepted a little bit. And again, we'll start going from only jiu-jitsu into Muay Thai, boxing and everything. But it was hard with George, Joe. It was hard at the beginning, but
yeah. Just to understand what hard means. George put the role for us, and because I didn't have clocks on the game, didn't have timers, didn't have it would be 40 minutes rolling with each other. And sometimes you're rolling with a partner that's your level, and nobody tapping nobody, right? And you say, okay, you guys stop to be stop to to play as girly and they start to roll hard at each other. So he would push our train to be mean with each other. Like you don't do that jiu-jitsu anymore. Like putting the elbow in the face of the guy only passing the guard, like scratching the face, like knee on the belly would be knee on the face sometimes. So that was the rolling. So you roll to survive. Oh, you're gonna pull guard? Are you crazy? If you pull guard, you're gonna kick your face and things like that. Like the mentality behind. Sometimes it was taking too long to tap each other. He would like pretend gonna slap your face just you to flinch, just to make you to flinch. Like and understand that you wouldn't be on the bottom guard doing like relaxing. So you need to be tense the whole roll. And that roll would be 40 minutes, 1 hour. Sometimes it would be 1 hour, one roll. And then go again with someone. And even in the beginning, can I drink water? No, water is for wicks. What? No water.
Yeah. Oh, what is to wash your gi, man?
So, Nepal, you start in 1994 is when you start jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
The first UFC is 1993. Did you have an idea of that's where you wanted to end up?
Wasn't popular in Brazil. Nobody knew what UFC.
Really?
Because remember that first I was a kid, right? So a kid don't and didn't have a cable. So you don't have cable and don't have. So the UFC to arrive there was tapes, right? VHS tapes. So I was going to see the first UFC tape maybe when I was 16, 17. So I didn't know what would UFC was. I was doing literally as a self-defense to learn how to protect myself.
Did you have any experiences with Sergio Battarelli?
Who?
Sergio Battarelli?
I don't remember, no.
What about like Federico Lependa?
No.
Okay, so you dealt with like Brigadero and those guys then. So you were after that.
Yeah, I'm a Brigadero level, right? In that age time, right?
Okay, I'm going too old. Sorry, Wander. That's your that's your department. So, were you with Shootbox when Anderson Silva left for Brazilian top team?
I had a brief month on Shootbox. I didn't stay in Shootbox that much. I moved to São Paulo around 2000, and I was in São Paulo with Jorge Patino. So
with Macaco.
Yeah. Yes. I was training there because didn't have place to train. So at first I was training with Gigo, but Gigo had a really small gym there. So I spoke to him, Gigo, I would like to train more, to compete more. So you would be mad if I went over there and said, no, it's fine, don't worry about it.
So you were mostly with Macaco. I think he is incredibly underappreciated as a coach.
Yeah, Macaco had a really big team. When I joined his team when he left Godoy, so was Macaco the team at the time, and everybody had their own gym, and everybody met together at noon time to roll Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's when I start to look more the MMA side, because Macaco is another one that did the MMA, and he said, "Oh, do you want to do it?" I say, "Okay, let's try it." And then I did just because.
Man, I've been trying to get a hold of that guy forever. Like I think his story is probably one of the more important ones that need to be told. He's brilliant, Macaco. Yeah. He's brilliant.
Yeah, it's crazy as another George. Two George.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I think he's on a name.
It's true. Hey, George Mehdi as well. I mean, another judo guy. I know he's
Yeah.
old school. Did you ever roll with George Mehdi?
I didn't know it was my.
Okay. Yeah, it's another. Yeah, it's like you're in Sao Paulo. He's in Rio. All right. So Wander, in 2000, you moved to the United States.
Yeah, that's when I moved to São Paulo.
Did your parents expect you to go to college?
My parents?
Yes.
My parents didn't expect much from me.
Oh, come on.
No, I give up studying when I was around 17, 18, just to training. My goal was to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor.
That's friggin' man. Sometimes jujitsu, like I've met people that are supposed to be doctors, they're supposed to be lawyers, and they're jujitsu instructors. They're like, no, this is where I'm going to be.
Yeah, I didn't have much expectation from my parents. They kind of raised me loose, and I picked to become that as a career when I was 17. Like, oh, I wanted that as a career. And then I did focus to improve as much as I could.
So, Vander, when you moved to the United States in obviously the year 2000, what is the conversation like with your top student?
Well, I knew he was in good hands, too. You know, I knew he was like okay, training, you know, in a good team. And it's funny, one day I met Macaco before I go. I went to São Paulo, and I kind of like I saw Macaco. He came to me and says, "Man, you got a great guy, man. How man, you know, congratulations." And he was like telling me like, you know, good things about him, and I say, "Yes, I know that, man. I know. Take care of him, you know." He's like, "Yeah, man. Thank you so much." You know, I'm like, "Great," you know. And then like I had not much conversation with Napão after, you know, when I was
Yeah.
moving, because you know how it is hard to move, you know,
People
to America.
people forget that time didn't have the
Yes,
communication that we have today. That time to talk with someone by the
it was
phone
hard. Yes,
was really expensive from one city to another city. When I moved to São Paulo, was already hard to have the communication, and because the price. When moved to another country, become really really hard to communicate. Because didn't have Facebook, didn't have a WhatsApp, didn't have any communication on the planet. Was different. Was just phone, and to use the phone would be $50 to talk.
yeah.
$50 to would be like one week of work just to have a conversation. So people didn't talk anymore. Was only where we were. So it was different time. I'm back in the time.
So 1994, you start jujitsu. April 2nd, 2003 is your first fight at Brazilian Gladiators. Is there any other fights prior to this?
No.
No dojo fights or anything like that?
I said to myself, my goal was to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor, like I said. So my goal was to be black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, be the best in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu possible. I didn't want to make a career because that time didn't exist there. That wasn't a career. People used to fight just to prove the BJJ was better than the other martial arts. My first fight was 1,000 reals, like $200 today. So that was my first.
At least you got paid. I didn't get paid for my first fight.
I think you probably had to pay sometimes
yes,
too. Yeah.
yes.
My fault. Just to understand, my first fight on UFC, if I lose, I would lose money.
Because of the medicals.
Yeah, was $3,000 to fight and $3,000 to win. Just the medicals, I paid $2,000. just the medicals. Because
Oh.
I was in America. I did not.
You couldn't get them done in Brazil?
No, I was leaving. I was leaving America already.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here, your first fight is Cicero. Let me see, where is it at? Cicero Costa.
Yeah.
And it's his only fight ever. You knocked him out. So you've got almost 10 years of jiu-jitsu and you win by KO.
Yeah, but wasn't a fair fight. So what happened is I was supposed to fight a guy in my division, heavyweight division, and the guy didn't show up. And the show at the time was, the guy didn't show up. Who won a fight?
Yep.
Costa was another black belt, but was a Wander size.
Like, very tough guy, man.
And handsome too, right, Wander? Very handsome too, right?
Very tough guy, man. Really, Cicero Costa is a tough guy, man.
Really tough in Brazil Jiu-Jitsu, yes. But that was MMA, and I was ahead of him like almost 100 pounds. So it wasn't that much of
a fair fight.
Fair fight. But I was there, and he decided to fight. So I remember then I mount, and I wasn't punching hard because I knew it wasn't that fair. And I looked to his corner and said, throw the tower. He's not going to take me out from here. I was right.
That's the right thing to do. And somebody in their first fight, sometimes they get a little excited and they forget stuff like that. That's 10 years of experience. Wow.
Yeah. So, but then that first fight wasn't was official, but for me, I never count as a fight because
so now, so this is your second fight, Joey. Read the second fight. Check this out.
Brandon Lee Hinkle, which is a hell of a tough fight for the fight you consider your first fight.
And Nepal, why don't you tell us who's in his corner?
Oh man, I don't even remember. What I know is
it's Mark Coleman and Kevin Randall.
Yep. Yes. Hammerhouse.
But
Hammerhouse.
What I do remember was, you're gonna fight him. What's the strategy? Put him down and beat the shit of him. I say, okay, that was the strategy. But the guy was a wrestler. And
Division One.
Division One, yeah.
I'm gonna put him down. But I was training a little bit of boxing at the time with Cebola. I did train 2 years straight boxing, literally boxing. Like I did with BJJ, I did with boxing. I like go to the gym and I want to learn boxing. And then the guy, okay, first thing, he gave me a rope and say, go jump rope. Say, what? Yeah, jump rope. Like he put me to jump rope. I couldn't do nothing, right? But was literally the first step by step to learn boxing. So I did that for 2 years. So after 2 years, I had boxing. I learned boxing. I knew how to box. So when I fought that fight, I had some boxing. And then I opened the way with some hands to be able to put a triangle there in.
Yeah. I got a question about this fight card because the main event of the fight card is Cyborg Santos fighting Shogun Huas. So they're from the same gym, from what I understand. Like, is this a gym beef they're settling, or how did that happen?
Actually, I don't know. I wasn't from them yet.
Damn.
Yeah, I saw. You know, it's interesting because I saw this fight 3 days ago, man. Somebody posted, and I watched it, and I thought the same thing. And I'm like, man, they used to be from the same school. You know how that? You know, I don't know.
Wander, nobody has answered that question. I don't think it's ever been asked before.
Maybe it was before, right? They before become the same.
I think so. It might be. I think Shogun was from shoot boxing, and Cyborg wasn't.
Well, Cyborg fought Pele. Yes, he fought Pele Landy in his first fight. So maybe he flipped. Maybe that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe he flipped. Yes.
That's kind of why we're here, though. We're trying to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, I don't believe they were like from the same school when they were fighting, you know? Even that I think those shoot box guys were like crazy to do anything.
They
But
would do that. That
yeah,
is
they would
something
do
they
it.
would do.
Yes. But I don't believe they did, you
yeah.
know?
That happened a little bit with me because when I arrived in São Paulo, I had a big fight of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fight with Jorge Batina, Macaco, and nobody knew me because I was from a different state, and he was the star on São Paulo. So
Wait. What was the name?
Macaco.
Macaco. Okay, yeah, no, of course.
I fought him.
Joey, we got it.
Yeah.
That's Charlie Brown. You fought him on Jungle Fight too, didn't you?
Jungle Fight, yes.
Dude. All right. So when you look at your record, here, let's kind of go through. You got Brandon Lee Hinkle. Your third fight, I don't want to skip this. We'll get to that. Your third fight, future world champion Fabricio Verdum.
Yeah.
So you got Brandon Lee Hinkle, who's future UFC vet, Division I wrestler, Hammerhouse, legit. And now you go from him to Fabricio Verdum. That's
tough draw.
That's a deep waters.
Yeah. I did not have much of rest. Well, I was really good at the fight. You guys can watch the fight. I think they do have online.
A month apart too.
But at that time I did not have understanding of what conditioning for fight meaning, because it was just go there and fight, and I ate completely wrong, didn't eat well, completely everything was amateur at that time. So I lost the end because my conditioning wasn't good.
Wander, was this your way of trying to correct a student into taking things more serious? Because those are two killers right in a row.
Yes, man. Yes, and
he got you, the pal.
Yeah,
he got you.
And I can tell you something, man. You know, if like they could name it one after another, he'd be fighting them because they were our mentality. You know what I mean? Which is like, you know, was kind of like hard to, because like he says, you know, like he wasn't ready, his condition wasn't good, but on his mind he was like, fuck
World
it,
champion.
let's fight.
Yeah, humility.
You know what I mean?
Little
Yes.
humility. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
This is a crazy card to be a part of too. This is Lyoto Machida when he knocked out Stephan Bonner. Ricardo Marias is on the cards. Cyborg.
Dude, Chiparelli's on the card. This is the card that's in the middle of the jungle where, what's his name? Inoki showed up.
Yeah.
You have to take a boat to it.
What year was that?
2003? 2003.
So I was training with Rico Chiparelli already that time. Yeah. I was at the Raw team training when he moved. I remember when he was training for that.
Do you think Chiparelli doesn't get enough credit?
He doesn't get enough credit, man. He was teaching a lot of good guys at the Raw team, all right? A lot of good guys.
Olympic wrestlers.
Yes, everyone was there, man. And he was coaching each one of us. And I'm talking about Lyoto. Sorry, Joe. Lyoto. I saw over there Dan Henderson. I saw Frank Triggs, man. Frank Triggs was his number one.
Matyushenko.
I was there, man. Melianenko. How do we say his name?
Matyushenko, dude.
Yes, he grabbed. I was doing jiu-jitsu with him, and he got mad at me. He grabbed my wrist with both hands, one hand, both wrists, and he's like, "You're not gonna move anymore, man. You can't move, man." Man, he was huge, man. You know, Wallid Ismail, he was there too. That's how Rico went to Jungle Fight. You know, all
John
these guys,
Donahue.
man.
John Donahue was there.
Yes. All these guys, all of them.
Mac Danzig was there. I mean, dude, it's
yes.
Dan Henderson.
Man. Yes. I think even Randy Couture, if I'm not wrong, he was there. Yes,
Matt
he was there, and then he moved. Yes, man. It was. I knew it. I was gonna go there. I broke my nose 3 times going over there. You know what I mean? It was hard training every day. I knew it was gonna be hard training, and but they loved me too. I was ready.
Yeah, it's a crazy card. There was also a fixed fight on that card with Mark Schultz.
That was the next jungle fight, I think.
No, that was on that card.
Was it?
I think. I don't know, from memory. Nepal, was there a lot of bugs and stuff like that? I heard it was in the middle of the jungle and it was just filled with mosquitoes and bugs.
Yeah, I was in the middle of the jungle. Literally, we need to get the boat for a time ride in the boat just to get on the place. When you get in the place, nothing around, zero, no neighbors. Literally jungle. That was the crazy thing. And the crazy guy there, the Enoch,
Inoki,
yeah, jump on the river and swam. And the river used to have like everything, like
crocodiles, man, he's crazy.
Piranhas, all that.
And he jumped. Nobody had the courage, just him.
Crazy.
Holy cow.
Crazy.
How was dealing with Wallid Ismail as a promoter?
Was a regular guy. No, not bad. He's always trying to save some money for him, but other than that, it was fine.
What was your conversation like with Verdum after your fight?
No hard feelings, no problems. Just we went there and fight, so no conversation and not even bad feeling or good feelings. Just a fight. We knew heavyweight was hard to find some partners. That was hard to find some good fights, and especially find some events that would pay us. So there was the event was paying, and so I have much off to question about.
He has got a real interesting trajectory. Obviously, he's from Brazil, but he spent a lot of time in Europe.
Yeah, that was after that.
Like he spent years in Europe.
Yeah, he lived there with some guys. Even Krokop, he was a Krokop. Came for a while teaching Krokop.
If you watch the old ADCCs, he's in Mark Kerr's corner. He literally went to the ADCC with Mark Kerr. Yeah,
he was all over the place because in the beginning he wasn't from Rio, and then he was from a different state. That's not that common on BJJ as well, but.
Yeah, and then you fight Charlie Brown, which is actually Macaco.
Yeah, no, Macaco, it was my coach at the time. But Charlie Brown was a guy that was like heavyweight.
And it's not his real name.
No, his name.
So he's from Brazil, and his name is Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Just in Brazil, man.
I don't. Like, it's hard to believe that.
I didn't check his ID, but that's what everybody call him.
Dude, this guy's Brazilian. He's got a Luta t-shirt on. Look him up on shirt.
Well, maybe he likes. There is a singer in Brazil, very famous guy named Charlie Brown. Maybe he loves Charlie Brown. They named him nickname him Charlie Brown.
We had all
and then you fight in Judo, Brazil, October 23rd, 2004, Walter Farias, and you win by neck crank. Is that something that you learned in the Brandon Lee Hinkle fight?
That's one that I learned with Jorge's training. But training.
When the can opener is the hammer house move.
He showed Jorge was. I just had Jorge teaching a seminar to my students here last week. So he was showing a double Nelson neck crank. He put it hand under the armpit, head under the armpit, hand under the other armpit.
Yeah.
You break the guy's neck. George, what you showing to the guys? No, man, you're not going to do that on the tournament, but on the streets, you don't know.
Yeah.
Well, like 1 month ago, George came to my school, and somebody was showing him like a berimbolo, you know, and the guy was talking about the berimbolo. You know, George is not against the berimbolo, but George thinks about street fight all the time. So the guy started doing the berimbolo. He stood up and he's almost kicking the guy, hold him. You know what I mean? He's like, man, you gotta protect your face, man. I'm gonna kick your face, you know. Berimbolo doesn't exist in the street, you know. But that's his mentality. That's the way he thinks, you know what I mean?
That's the real jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
that we don't have now anymore.
No anymore.
It's a cheat code for like a video game is what jiu-jitsu is right now.
Yeah. No, that people don't understand. The UFC have a bunch of rules to prevent jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is not welcome on the UFC. Oh, but you see submissions. Yes. So part of the jiu-jitsu is nice to bring it. But jiu-jitsu, if you take it too long, grappling with each other, break up, stand up.
Yes.
You take too long in the cage, holding the guy to put him down, break up to the center.
Yes.
Trying to elbow from the guard, break up because that's not allowed.
It just changed.
If you
It
lock
just changed, yeah.
the guard and heel on his kidney, it's not allowed because it's gonna make the guy bleed. If you go double under to break his neck, it's not allowed because accidents can happen. So a bunch of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the real Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is not allowed because it's too efficient. The efficiency is so high, then cannot be allowed because you're gonna kill each other. You're gonna break someone, and the guy gonna be crippled for life. So that's why it's not allowed. People don't understand the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Then I learned with Wander, and Wander learned with George. Is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to cripple you, to kill you. We learn how to kill each other, to kill the opponent, to make the guy over, to survive. That's a survive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's a different Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu sport. The sport, I need to score some numbers. I need to pass the guard. I need to sweep him. But that just happened when you cannot punch. Because I don't need to pass the guard if I'm inside the guard punching.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Wow.
It's a different Brazilian mentality. Even to pull guard on the sport, you pull guard because you know the guy not going to punch you. But in the real Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you don't pull guard. You can end up on the bottom. That happens. Then you know what to do when you end up on the bottom. But even Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu now, the sport, they say, oh, you cannot be with a close guard close for too long. Man, to be safe, the first thing I need to do is keep the guy close to me. If I open my guard, I'm going to give him space to punch my face, give him space to get out and kick me. So even Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu rules is against the real Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
You know, but it has been that way for a long time because right around the end of the 1990s, early 2000s, even leg locks in high-level jiu-jitsu tournaments were illegal because they were too effective.
He's still the Americans bring that back, but I don't know if it's good or bad. Because if you do put a kid then have like 16, 17 years old to grapple with another kid and both going for the knee, someone be proud, don't want to tap, gonna rip the knee, the guy gonna be out for a long time, surgery and things, and because the position is too efficient. It's not because it doesn't work. It's opposite. It's because it works too much.
Works too much.
why in the rules of Brazil in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu sport or MMA, you cannot finger the guy in the eye, poke the guy, boom, poke the guys in the eye. Why? Because that's too efficient, right? You cannot poke someone in the eye because they're gonna be blind forever, and it's really easy to do that. So you need to take it out to become a sport.
In my time, that was all around it. You could poke somebody in the eye, you could bite the guy, could do everything, man. The ref would just look at you and say, "Keep going, my friend. You're doing vale tudo. Keep going."
Jesus.
So
Seriously,
Wander,
some guy was poking my eye, and I know who was it. The guy was in UFC. Man, I'm really bad with names. I forgot his name.
American
But
or
I'll
Brazilian?
remember. No, Brazilian. All
Eugenio
right.
Terral. I mean, you want to go old
No,
school?
it's on my record. Maybe you'll find it. He was in UFC on Jose Aldo's weight. Eduardo, I think it was Eduardo.
Eduardo Darte.
No,
Eduardo, come on,
I don't know.
Nepal.
I'll look. So he was
Hey,
like,
I don't
he
know.
was eye gouging. He was like on the bottom with his hands, on my finger, and I'm not ashamed to say that, but I took my mouthpiece out. The referee was telling me like, "This is vale tudo, man. Keep going. Stop complaining about it." And then I bit his hand. Then he's kind of like open up. That's when I mount him and I got the fight. You know what I mean? But yes, just to see the difference. How was it? And
Yeah,
George got mad at me because I was complaining. He was also saying, "Stop complaining, headbutt him."
You're the problem.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Yeah, he's gouging your eye, but you're the problem.
Yes. I'll find his name. Keep going.
Joey, do you get the name or no?
I'm looking it up. Somebody fought in the UFC?
No.
Yes.
The guy
he
fought
he
in
fought
the
in
UFC.
later. So no, I
Later.
don't have it.
All right,
Eduardo.
so
Oh,
Wander.
Johnny Eduardo.
Johnny something.
Johnny
Eduardo.
Johnny Eduardo.
Yes. He fought in UFC. Yeah.
So Wander, how would you describe Nepal's 2005 ADCC run?
Man, that was amazing. By the way, I respect Arona. I love Arona. All right. But that was Carson's call, that fight. In my opinion,
Wait, Arona. Okay.
No,
Yes.
But he's
Well,
saying
that was an ADCC. That was like, sorry, what did you say? What
So
was
the 2005 ADCC was in Long Beach, California.
Okay,
It was
never
probably
mind.
the first.
I was talking about the tryout ADCC in Brazil. So I was back there.
Okay, so
Napão fought Arona in the final.
Oh, okay, wait. Let me forget
Right,
the
Napão?
No, wait. Forget the 2005 ADCC.
That was 99. I'm sorry. That was 99.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he fought Arona.
Yes, he fought. Napão beat I think two guys, 2 or 3 guys. I don't remember, but I knew it was Arona in the final. It was the first time I was coaching Napão against a great name with one of my idols on the other side was Carson Gracie. It was so hard for me, man. It was hard to coach Napão, and Carson was like, Carson was something else, man.
Was he talking trash?
Oh, no. Always. No, he was talking. He was betting. He was betting money. He wasn't talking trash to Napão or anything else, nothing like that. But he was like, "You guys want to bet? I'll bet he's gonna win."
Not trash, like one is bragging. It's different.
Yeah, he's bragging. Yes.
Taunting,
yes.
kind of taunting. Okay.
No, I'm good. Not saying, "Oh, you're bad." It's different, right?
Okay.
Okay.
He was a trash talker. He was a bragger. He's brag about his team.
That's good. That's good.
That my rooster gonna win.
Yes.
So in the ADCC trials, did you submit Padapano in under a minute?
No, the trials in 1999 with Arona was no first 5 minutes, no points.
Yeah.
5 minutes again, points. Nobody did nothing. Like we are really even. And then it was open time, 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes to see if someone would do some score. Then we didn't score. I didn't score him, and he didn't score me, and was like taking downs, everything, right? So,
Yeah.
and then they put another 10 minutes golden score. So on the 25 minutes of match, he took me down. But when he was taking me down, I was going
You
to a
went
light
for you
bar.
went for a knee bar, right?
Yeah, a straight knee bar the same time. But I locked, but I couldn't finish. He escaped him and finished on top, and then he scored the points.
Hey, so Ricardo Arona, future ADCC Hall of Famer, absolute stud.
Yes.
Did you ever go against Padapano and submit him in under a minute?
That was in the 2005. That was semifinal. The semifinal.
And is that for the trials final or the ADCC bracket?
Semifinal at ADCC. I lost the ACC for
Jeff Monson. It says you lost.
Jeff Monson. Yeah.
Here.
The rules. I didn't know the rules. I pull guard was the -2.
Lost by 1 point, right? Pull guard.
I was start the fight. I didn't know the rules, so I pull guard, and in the final you cannot pull guard because it would be -2. So because I was -2 at the end, I trying to rush, and he passed as well. So
if you're -2 on Jeff Monson, you're going to be laying there until the time runs out.
Yeah,
not moving, and he's not doing anything.
Open to try something. Then he passed.
Did you have any strange experiences with Jeff Monson? There's nobody I've met that's never had a strange experience.
Did he do any streaking after the fight?
No, I
your mouthpiece.
Didn't see him that much. I just saw him the 5 minutes match or the 10 minutes match. I was just.
You didn't borrow your mouthpiece for a different match?
No, he was. I hear something about him. I hear that he couldn't sit down. He had a back problem.
And he lays down on the airplane. Yes.
Yeah, he never sit down in 9 degrees like us. He down sideways because he had a really bad back problem.
So let's talk about ADCC 2005. Wander, you're there, correct?
No, I wasn't there.
You were not there? It's California, bro.
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't there, right, Napon? No, I wasn't there. No, I was.
I think we met there at the end.
Yes. I was doing something else. Then I came back at the end, but I wasn't following up on that. I think I was doing something really important. I remember that, but I could not go be there for his fights.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So
and then I tried to rush to get into his fights, and I get at the end over there.
Okay, so that's my first ADCC I ever worked. I started working with them briefly about 2005. So you got Mustafa El Turk, you meet him. You got Rico Rodriguez, former ADCC world champion. You got Daniel Gracie as your third match, former ADCC world champion.
I don't remember Daniel Gracie's fight.
Do you think they made a mistake on the bracket and it's Padapano? I read the bracket, but I never. Okay, so just so you know, I watch all of your fights. ADCC is very difficult.
I didn't fight Daniel Gracie. No.
Okay, so it's Padapano. So their bracket is wrong. This is 100% from their website. So I read that you submitted Padapano in under a minute.
Yeah.
So that was your third match. Was that by design to get you into the finals?
I did. Yeah, I did. I was trying to win.
Wait. So Padapano, you know that there's a $5,000 bonus for fastest submission. Did you and Padapano collude in order to get that?
Yeah, no, I was man. It's important.
I don't think you understand my question.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a fixed fight. Was that a fixed fight?
Vocês combinaram?
Ask him if it was fixed fight. He got a bad knee after that. Was a calf slice.
Did you get the $5,000 for the fastest submission?
No, I didn't. I think that someone did faster than that.
Oh, they were full of shit.
Yes.
One of those
I think
Jeremy
so
Horn
too.
situations.
Especially after a calf slice, man. Come on, you know.
Oh my gosh! All right, so you beat
Yeah.
Petapano in under a minute. You get Jeff Monson, but which dude? You took silver. I mean, your first ADCC, you take silver.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, and Petapano is a world champion. So here you got Rico Rodriguez, world champion, Petapano, world champion, Jeff Monson, world champion. I mean, look at that bracket. That's nuts.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy bracket, man.
Eduardo Tavares.
Imagine how I was it, man. Try to rush over there, and I have no communication with anybody in there, to see how he was doing or something.
And Jacare at this tournament had a heroic performance.
Yeah.
He kind of stole the show in 2005. But I mean, this is equally as impressive. And you go to the absolute, Eduardo Teles, you win, and then you run into Zanji Ribeiro, which, man.
Yeah.
I
lost to Sean on that one, but I won him before him on the special fight in Manaus. But it was funny. I was so innocent, like naive. I was so naive. So when I won Petapano, I did a position nobody knew, and was one of the students of Leodala, what today everybody knows, Lloyd Irving.
Yeah.
At the time, he used to train all over the place, so he showed me this sambo position. There was the calf slice, and that after I won, Saulo came to me, and I was so happy with the victory. He said, "Oh man, that was a nice position. How did you do that?" Then I showed him. And then next day when I tried to apply a shot,
he knew how to defend it.
He knew how to defend it.
Yes.
I was so naive.
I practiced that all night.
Yeah. And that was funny. But
you see, if I was there, that would not happen. Never happen. You know what I mean? I would be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, excuse me. Come on, Apon, let's go.
But when I won the Shang, it was one event. Then, man, I wish I had the video, but we don't. So Shang fought Petapano, and Petapano was trying to choke him with a clock choke, and was the magazine picture, right? Because we didn't have videos, we had some pictures on the magazine. I said, man, the guy didn't tap on that. That was a tough choke, so he probably is really tough in the neck. I said, okay. Then I went to fight with him in his state, like in Manaus, a different place, or like trying to train in Texas if you always live in Massachusetts, like different weather. And then I went over there. I was doing a good fight with him, and then I put a choke on his back. Man, I remember he don't tap. I need to do all my power because I know he's good to defend the neck. I pull with all my power. Boom, when I let it go, he passed out. That was a tough, and nobody see that fight because they didn't have videos. Maybe they did because it was a television time from the state, but I don't have a copy. And
wait. So you mentioned Carlson Gracie earlier. So you obviously met Paquetá.
Yeah,
Paquetá.
Fights then he did record, but I never got from him.
I wonder if his collection had that. Man, I wish somebody would go and just buy what's left of his collection from the family and just put everything online.
I remember he recorded really good fights from me. As a brown belt fight, then I did with Cachorrinho, uh, and a fight that I did. That one, probably he was there, and really good fights he did. And I wish to buy, but I didn't have money at the time to buy from him.
Yeah, he was one of those guys. There should be a statue of Pacquiao.
I agree on that.
He is recorded. I try every time I speak to an old school Brazilian guy, I need something about Pacquiao. Like I need to timestamp it, put it. It's very important to me.
Yeah, I do have a couple fights that I wish I got from him.
If somebody's listening to this that's got money, go to Brazil, buy what's left, and just put everything on YouTube. Everything.
Would be so nice. Would be so nice to have a statue of like Pacquiao statue right beside Carson's statue, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They were like inseparable. You know what I mean? Like they're like together all the time. That was really nice. Very good friendship. You know?
The off of what we have today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think Jiu Jitsu improved because of Pacquiao. You watch VJ steps. What's he doing? Yeah. He's the original YouTube. Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
How long after the ADCC in 2005 do you move to the United States?
I moved like 6 months later or something. I'm gonna tell you how I came. I came to here because a friend of mine, Marco Alvan, he said, "Okay, man, I need someone to help me here with a school. So let's open a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school here." I said, "Man, but how am I gonna go there?" Coincidentally, I got the classified for the ADCC, then paid everything to me to go to compete here. So when I arrived here, Marco came to me and met me there in California and brought me to his school to do a seminar. So that's the first contact I have with the United States. I didn't speak English. I didn't have nothing here. So when I arrived here, even to go from California to Massachusetts, you need to get the airplane.
Yeah.
Get the airplane without speaking English. Like it was hard. It was hard. I remember the crew trying to explain the accent and things like that. I was in panic.
So because you're so big, they put you in the exit aisle.
Yeah,
you just have to say yes, and you just didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm so glad nothing happened there, airplane. You know what I mean? It would be like, hey, you open up, do this. You'll be like, what? Yes, what?
Me?
Yeah, man.
Because you need to confirm that you know what you're doing, right?
I passed through the same experience, like fighting the Pan Ams, coming here to fight the Pan Ams and to move up here after. You know, it was so hard. No English, you know. Everybody's asking, what do you want to eat? And I'm like,
number one.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, what I hear from the Brazilians is that, like, the street lights and the big lights of the city is very different. They're like, man, I can't believe the electricity that is being used in these cities.
Yeah.
Like I've heard that a few times.
Different states. So Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo. São Paulo is millions of people. Millions. It's not thousands. So people don't understand that number. So São Paulo is like New York, literally like New York. In Rio, it's like California. It's different than Manaus. It's different than Mato Grosso or Minas Gerais. Different states that have more farms, so less city-like. But Rio de Janeiro in São Paulo is more advanced than a lot of states in America. It's different, and people don't know that.
So you moved to the United States 6 months later, and your next fight is in the UFC. That's November 19th, 2006.
Yeah.
2005. 2005.
Not only are you fighting in the UFC, but you're the second to last fight of the night. So you're playing to a packed house. What was that like?
So I was in America because Marco. So we are opening a gym, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym called Team Link. I developed the name. So then we start to look for students. And then Mark said, "Oh man, I'm gonna try to put you on UFC." Say, I don't want that. That's don't pay the bills, man. That's I don't want to fight MMA anymore. No, man, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be nice if you fight there. People gonna know, and we're gonna have like a good advertisement, and would help us to have more students. And I said, okay, if you find some fights, I fight. And so give me your tapes. I don't have my tapes. If you don't have, if you don't find a fight, I'm not gonna fight. I don't care. And then Mark went over there trying to find my tapes, and he did sign me up for UFC. Man, I was with my wife at the time, pregnant with twins. One of the twins had some problem, wouldn't survive, didn't have brain and lungs. So my wife was living with her mother because we were living in São Paulo, but in Rio de Janeiro we had a better hospital for the problem when she was going to have with the delivery. So zero training, zero. I didn't have training for months. And then I was planning to move to America. So like you're getting ready to move to America, moving from São Paulo to Rio, zero training, mental stress because was a danger pregnancy. And the guy said, "Oh, I have UFC for you." And then what you gonna do? Opportunity knock on your door a few times on the on life. You cannot turn back the opportunity. So I said, okay, I fight. I don't care. And then they gave me a guy that was a stand-up guy. Okay, so stand-up guy, not a big deal. I'm gonna try to.
No big deal. I haven't trained. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna submit him on the ground. That was the confidence of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? So the confidence, I'm ready, even if I'm not, right? So, and then the fight was 15 minutes of booing people.
Yeah.
Because first kick I gave a really strong kick. I was training a little bit Muay Thai too in Macaco Gym. So at first I give a really strong kick. He blocked. my she was like a golfing ball on my leg after.
It hurt, huh?
And then I keep trying to put him down. He was smart. I was out of shape, completely out of shape. And then I did put a arm triangle him. But at the time, I didn't know that much of the position. I knew, but I didn't have the tuning position, the small details. So he defended with a really good defense.
He burned out.
Flag, pushing forward to defend. Backing up, like 30 seconds to the end. Joe Rogan said, "That's a shame of fight. That's a horrible. That these fighters should be ashamed of themselves. That's one top game. The UFC is a top level, and they shouldn't be fighting like that. If you don't have condition to fight, don't come to fight." Joe Rogan saying that. I remember a friend of mine taught me a Superman punch a few weeks later. I tried a Superman punch and knocked the guy out.
It was like 30 seconds left in the fight. Yeah. And you know, it was like a brand new punch. Like Josh Thompson, you know, kind of showed it off. And yeah, you did it a few weeks later. Yeah.
21 seconds left on the clock. It was a good highlight.
You know, it's a shame. Like
I was so happy. I was so happy. So happy. Oh, I've won on the locker room. Yeah, really good. Come,
Joe Silva.
The matchmaker.
Joe Silva, yeah.
What did he say?
Yeah, thank you. And then I didn't speak zero English. He said to Marco. Marco did not tell me at the time. He hold for himself. Lucky him, he have the punch because he would never fight here again.
Did Joe ever? He used to get a little too comfortable with guys, with fighters. Would you agree with that?
You mean criticizing him?
Well, he'd be a little too comfortable. Like the things coming out of his mouth, he would never say if he wasn't in that position.
I think he was doing his job. I think he did a really good job. We don't understand how things change and develop, and people forget how it was. So before UFC, Joe and Dana White era was Pride. Pride was the Friends of the King fight. So was just the guys from Chute Box, the guys from top team, was one fight a year, 3 fights a year. So 3 fights a year, 10 fighting, right? 14 guys fighting. So how many fighters on the planet? You know?
And Joey, at this time, we as fans were so ravenous. Like we were so ravenous to where if there was just 2 or 3 minutes of inactivity, oh my god, I can't believe this. And that's kind of what you were a victim of. Like it's, man, let the fight mature.
Well, like Gabriel said, we're only getting 4 fight cards a year, so yeah, we're hungry.
Dude, we were so hungry for it.
No, my fight was horrible. I know it was bad fight. It was a bad fight. So if you guys watch the fight, you guys are gonna say the same. But people don't know because why? Because people don't care why. They wanted the product. They don't want the explanation of the poor quality product.
So Wander,
as a person, I have a reason. I had really big problems happen in my life. But people, it's not people's deal. People don't need to know that. It's not my problem. So fight the next event, fight,
Well, you had a daughter, Isabella, who is...
Yeah.
How is she doing today?
Really good. 19 years old.
That's all that matters. So Wander, when you saw Kevin Jordan, did you see the damage that one Superman punch caused?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
The blood coming out of him, dude. It's brutal.
Yes. Yep. Great punch, man. Great punch. Napon has proved that too, in that fight. It's great.
Yeah.
By the way, I was on that fight with Napon over there. I think it was in Vegas, right, Napon?
I don't recall.
Yeah, so I think it was in Vegas, but I wasn't on your corner, but I was sitting around over there. And I think I was the only one not booing that fight, man, and getting mad at everybody, you know what I mean? I was like, fuck, man, I knew what happened with you. I knew I was there, you know what I mean?
It was MGM Grand, Vegas, you're right.
Yes.
And then his next fight's Fabiano Scherner, who's you beat in the trials, ADCC trials. And sometimes, like when you get 2 jiu-jitsu guys fighting each other, because although you've got very good stand-up, you're known for your stand-up, you're still Brazilian. So you take the
time wasn't many guys from same country fighting each other. That was kind of one of the twists. Then Joe was putting, But I think that's what make grow, right? I think he wasn't looking for team or nationality or things like that to match make. He was looking for the best options. He was literally bringing the best fighters to fight each other. I think what
you put it on Scherner. Like, he didn't want to come out for the second round, and like his corner made him, and he had like an extra minute of time to get ready. Like, it was like, do you want to fight or do you not want to fight? Well, you know, he should have fought 30 seconds ago, but he kept delaying. He didn't want to quit. He was hoping his corner would let him out of it. And you know, you finished him pretty quick in that second round.
Only 2 submission losses in his whole career, too, and Gabriel was one of them.
Yeah.
That says something.
Dude, you fought some tough motherfuckers, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
He did, and I'm proud of that, man.
You fought some legit motherfuckers. Here. So you got Carmelo Marrero. He's 6-0 from American Top Team. Good wrestler from the East Coast. You armbarred him like that was. It was like playing with a child, and I respect Marrero, but that was a very big mismatch when the fight played out. You're supposed to fight Tim Sylvia, it gets canceled.
Yeah,
dude, I would honestly, dude, that's the fight I wanted.
Yeah, I would love to see that fight too, man. Yeah.
Oh, why did they get canceled? Was it your visa?
I'm pretty confident Napa would knock him out.
Was it your visa or was it an injury?
It was injury. My visa never stopped me to fight. No.
And then, you know, you come back and you fight Mirko Cro Cop. So, dude, check this out. In the pre-fight interview, Napa was like, you know, I'm not afraid of him. Like, but like the way you said it, like, it wasn't like, well, I'm not afraid of him anymore. You know, no. It's like you weren't afraid of him. Like, the mentality going into that fight was nuts.
Yeah, you were not the A side on that matchup.
Dude, they wanted him to get smoked so he could fight Randy Couture. You kidding me?
Yeah.
But Randy Couture leading up to it says, I hope Cro Cop wins. Gabriel poses more problems for me.
It's funny. The confidence of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is funny. Maybe 5 years earlier, I was with a friend of mine watching Cro Cop fighting, and I told him I would win this guy. I didn't know the danger yet, but the confidence was there. Even though it wasn't a fake confidence, the confidence was real, but the foundation from the confidence wasn't that real. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the skills to beat him like I thought I was, but I would believe that I would. So it's hard.
How would you describe your finish of Mirko Cro Cop?
Unexpected. So unexpected, why? If you see the replay, I was beating him up with elbows from the guard. Mm-hmm. The goal was I was beating inside the guard, a lot of elbows, and the referee was having some meetings, like we talked before, had to bring the more excitement for the fights. So I think that the referee broke us early. He shouldn't stop us.
Dude, you were putting work in, bro.
Yeah.
You were putting work in.
Time. So people don't know how much ground game people want to see, right? So in that time, he broke us up and brought us standing. I think he was a little dizzy by the elbows because that he had high hands, and when I kick, he dropped the hands to protect the ribs, protect the ribs. So he did believe the kick was going to the ribs, so pass over the guard. He had the high guard. He dropped it. So that's why it was unexpected. In my head was, we had 30 seconds to the end of the fight. So I know gonna
end of the round, first round.
The end of the round, I know gonna end. So I'm gonna kick as hard as I can. He's gonna feel his arm because he's gonna block. He's gonna feel his arm. He's gonna step back, and I'm gonna have 30 seconds to circle around here to rest a little more. That was my game plan. So I did kick as hard as I could, and one kick ever on my life. And that was the kick that I got on him.
And hell of a kick, man.
Yeah. So Joey, Mirko Krokop, he's only got one fight in the UFC. He's the big bad wolf of pride.
Yep.
His reputation, man.
I thought Gabriel could win, but not in a million years that I think he was going to win that way. I mean, he Krokop.
Yep.
And dude, his leg and ankle looked mangled. They kept replaying it. It was like
nobody would expect that, man. Nobody, even like Krokop, like Napo was saying, yeah, maybe he was protecting, man. He was like, he's not gonna. Probably on his head, he was like, he's not gonna come with the head kick, you know. So let me protect down here, and let's keep my hand a little bit lower so he doesn't take me down or something. You know what I mean?
Well, of course, he thought it was coming to the body.
Yes, and then the head kick comes, like, man, his knee was like, man, it was
mangled.
Horrible. It was horrible.
It looked career ending right there.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, Nepal, when I actually have a mutual friend with Krokop, I asked about an interview, and he said for $50,000 US, he'll do a Zoom interview with me. So
oh my God.
So if you guys want to give me some cash app, you can just
go fund me.
Yeah. For 1 hour. For 1 hour.
Wander said it was that the price.
Can you get a check?
Yeah.
You know, and it put you right in 4 events later. You're with Randy Couture in a title fight. Randy's 15-8. You're 16 years younger and almost 30 pounds heavier. And the issue is you've got the natural Randy Couture standing across from you.
The allegedly natural Randy Couture.
Yeah, that's one of my questions.
No, my opinion was one of my best fights. A lot of people question what happened with things. People need to understand the percentage of win is 50%. People are giving a lot of different numbers, but at the end of the day, or you win or you lose, right? So I had so many fights that I should lose, then I won, and I have a few fights that I should win, then I lost. I think that fight I should win, and I lost.
I'm gonna tell you, like, here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wander.
Can I say something that I remember that fight? I was there too. I remember, this is clear in my head, man, and I keep looking at the replay. All right, Randy Couture, pick him up, right? Drop him. His head hit his nose.
Yes.
All right.
Dude,
that was
ugly.
a headbutt.
Nasty.
Yes.
Nasty.
All right. And
dude,
I was
destroyed.
I was crazy about it because everybody was going into the review, and I my English was kind of like worse than now, you know. And I was like, man, that was a headbutt. That should not, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
It was crazy, man.
Dude,
it was crazy.
Your nose, you were choking on blood.
Yes.
For the majority of the fight.
Yeah.
And like, if Wander, I don't know if you agree with this. If I had to say, like, if there was one thing that worked against, you know, Nepal, he was too aggressive.
Yes.
Like, you wanted to do dude. Sometimes people, big lights. Oh my God.
I think he fractured his arm, right? With one kick, Nepal, right? Am I right?
I broke his arm.
Yes.
Bro.
Yeah.
Nepal, like, sometimes people, like, under pressure, they don't they react, but maybe not how they would have leading up to it. bro, you were trying to kill his ass.
One of the best shapes on my career. I was
Hall of Fame worthy fight.
240 pounds, so light, moving fast, heavy for him. So happens. So sometimes people, after the results, people always come with the answer after the results. If you win, nobody gonna give you a different perspective. If you lose, they gonna try to give you solutions. So if they lose by Krokop kicking high and he duck and punch my face, so people will say you shouldn't kick high, right? Because I won, nobody say nothing. So same thing. People just saying then I should, put him down or whatever people gonna believe then I should do, because the result wasn't expecting the result, so people ask for a different solution. But it is what it is. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win with the solution. I don't think was a bad strategy.
No, dude, you almost had him. You even landed a head kick in the third round.
Yeah, he was smart enough.
He ate it.
I punched him. He was one of the best in the sense of knowledge what to do on the game. So,
man, was Randy Couture, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Him so hard, but he was smart enough
to almost got him. Almost got him
to close. He was smart enough to balance, wait for the timing to close the distance. He was smart enough to don't shoot to try to put me down. He was gain clock time on the wall. He was so smart in the game behind it. Then people don't realize that he did a lot to win the fight.
Dude, he took so much punishment too. Like, people always talk about, the gamesmanship, the sportsmanship. That guy was a great nail. He was a very good nail, and you were an incredible hammer.
Yeah, well, I did punch a lot. Yes. I did an edition of the video to put some highlights online, and was a lot of highlights for the fight.
It's a Hall of Fame worthy fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. It qualifies.
I got a fight of the night with him, the knockout of the night with Krokop. I got
knockout of the year with Krokop.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people say the decade.
Yeah. Could be.
Could be, yeah.
Do you think Randy was natural?
No, of course not.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Why would you be?
But I don't think that's a problem. I think that's a problem when I was when the guys out of the quantity, right? I think he was repositioning because he was old and he was in shape as a young guy. I don't think he was much more than a regular guy.
Okay.
He was microdosing.
Yeah, it was
steroids.
Different than you overing. When you see overing, it's a different thing. When you see overing, like 100 kilos more on the back, like 200 pounds more. That
was horse meat.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. Yeah. So then you see like when that guys are, I think they are cheating. That's a bold.
I saw one time Brock Lesnar having, like, we're all sitting, down there having breakfast, and that guy came with, I believe me, it was like probably 10 eggs, bunch of bacon, a lot of like bread. And I thought he was gonna put for the whole table. You know what I mean? I'm like sitting there. I'm like, I'm hungry, and I'm waiting. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna bring some eggs.
What a nice guy!
He put it in front of him, and he was like, "What? Get your stuff, guys. Get your food. This is all for me." I'm like, oh my god, man.
I think that's the biggest human being I met.
Man, if you are saying this, imagine how small I was
Yeah.
beside him. You know what I mean?
Well, no, if people don't see him in person, don't understand. So his wideness on shoulder to shoulder is the same chest to the back.
So people like that I know that know him, they say, listen, man, he needs steroids to exist because his body is so big that they just like he would just fail miserably physically without some sort of help.
Yeah, probably because he takes so long for so long because the WWE takes so long. He don't produce a natural anymore. He need to take. That's definitely a thing.
So you know we're like over an hour and a half in. Do you got a little bit more time, or do you got to go?
A little bit, no, yeah.
Oh, okay. So if you really look at the rest of your career, which you look at it, you got Shane Carwin, future world champion, Junior Dos Santos, future world champion, Brendan Schaub, title contender, Ben Rothwell, who's one of the best in the world, Travis Brown was one of the best in the world. I mean, it's Stipe Miocic. You had Matt Mitrione, who's one of the best athletes ever to go into the UFC.
Yeah, that's fight.
It doesn't stop, dude.
That's another one that I should win. I broke my hand in the first round on his head.
Dude,
Verdun. Man, so many guys, yeah.
Yeah.
So many tough guys.
A second time.
Cop a second time. Derek Lewis.
Lewis, dude.
All my losses was for the world champion. The only one that I lost that wasn't a champion, I think, was Mitrione and Schwab. Mitrione and Schwab.
Dude.
And then the only two that I
was never world champions. Yeah.
Oh, what's the Russian's name? What's his name?
Emelianenko.
Oh my God, man.
Dude, Aleksander Emelianenko. How crazy was like the Russian mafia at that fight?
That's crazy, man.
How was it dealing with those guys?
Oh man, it's scary. It's scary because you don't know, right? Everything you don't know, your brain make like different routes. So they don't speak Portuguese. I don't speak in Russian. So we need speaking English. My English is not that good. So it's a barrier even to talk, right? Even to have a conversation. And then the guys, no, you can come. And I said, I'm not going to fight there. That's a scheme. That's something that if they want, imagine they decide to don't pay me.
Yeah.
How are you going to charge them? How are you going to say, give me my money?
Or if it's a decision, you're not, even
right?
if you're.
I'm in Russia with nobody else other than a coach, and someone gonna give me the money. What's gonna happen? So, to see if they're talking serious, I asked for $10,000 in advance, and they did it. I say, okay, so it's real. Then I start to train for real.
Well, that's for the conversation.
Yeah,
you talk for that.
No, because I had a brief break from UFC. UFC fired me, and I stay out maybe 6 months or something, 8 months. I don't know.
You fought Parker. What's his name? Parker Porter. Yeah, reality fighting. Yeah.
Do you know how many fights I scheduled and I didn't fight? More than 5. I scheduled 5 fights, and the event broke, or the guy couldn't show up at the time. So many different events happened. Then I started to train for a fight, and the fight didn't happen. So I beat up my body for free for a long. So because it's tough to your body, like training. The training camp is the worst, right? I was supposed to fight with Roy Nelson. I was flipping a tire. I pulled out a muscle in my back. I lost. I couldn't fight. So sometimes you train and you lose money because you train, get hurt, don't fight. And I was kind of so that's why when I went to talk with them, I said, okay, to fight again, you guys need to give me a $10,000 just to training. If not, I'm not gonna even try.
Did you ever train with Sean Gannon,
With
the police officer that fought Kimbo? He was from Boston. He was a Boston police officer.
I think so. Yeah, I'm really bad with names. He's
Okay.
a little taller than me.
He's a little taller. He kind of pudgy, fought in the UFC maybe twice. Brandon Lee Hinkle beat him up in the UFC. He kind of ended tragically. Like he didn't have a real good ending.
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm really bad with names. Really bad. So,
well, Joey, why don't you list the world champions he fought, and let's figure out who hit the hardest.
I fought all of them.
Stipe, Crow Khan,
Junior Dos Santos,
Verdum, Shane Carwin. I mean, people say he hit like a truck.
Who hit the hardest?
All my losses.
If you had to pick one person that hit you the hardest, who would it be?
Hit hard. Probably Dos Santos did it because I don't remember.
Wow.
It was bad strategy with him. I was trying to Muay Thai and I was completely believing the kick that I was going to kick his rib. Lost the distance, he overhang. So it was a wrong strategy for the fight.
Did you ever work out with Hobson Popo Fritas? He's the one that shot Osorio Silva.
Nah.
Okay. What about Rafael Cordeiro?
Yes.
How was he to roll with?
One of the best coaches I met in the sense of pass, confidence, training. So, of course, Wander is the top, right? Wander is the top one.
Oh, you better say I'm the top.
We can edit you out of this. It'll just be a Wander, I and Joey.
No, if we're talking about MMA coach, man, you know, Rafael is a big name, man.
Yeah.
I never train with him. I just had conversation with him, and it seems like a great coach.
Wander is one of the best. I'm not joking. It is true.
We've had people on this podcast that have said that about Wander. Yeah.
Yeah. But Rafael was really good in this for MMA because for me it was a different because he was giving the stand-up game. Wander didn't know that much stand-up game. It was more boxing a little bit. But Rafael was like a master on that. So,
yeah.
And when we go into someone that masters something, and the guy's good on what he do, I think Rafael is one of these guys. So he was the heart of Chute box. He was the heart that produced the guys.
Were you surprised to see him leave in 2009?
No, a lot of people are coming to America to make money. So I think he had some opportunity. That's what he did. Well, I don't think it was personal.
Okay, so when you fought Randy Couture, Wanderlei Silva helped train him for you.
And I did train with Wanderlei a few times only when I was in São Paulo. And I didn't train for him for Randy Couture. But when I was in São Paulo, first trained, then I went to Chute box there. I lived there on the house. Was a house there. I lived there, sleeping, eat there for a month. And first month that I was there was sparring, and I didn't know much stand up, and was this sparring stand up Wanderlei Silva me like I was zero standing up. My My power was ground game, but I had, like I said, 2 years of boxing. So if you put in perspective, I was a blue belt, right? Going black belt. And but I couldn't handle myself there trying to survive because my size and blocking. But of course, I got a little bit beat up. But on that session, on that month, I got a cut. I said, "Oh man, now I need to go to the hospital, take some stitches." And then Rafael came. No, don't worry. Wait, sit down here. And then in 5 minutes, show up a nurse to stitch me up. They had a nurse that was hired to go there to stitch people up.
Did you kind of look at it as Wanderlei maybe not doing the right thing by going to train with Randy when Randy fought against you?
No, well, that time was professional. Because he's not my friend in the sense of everyday friendship, but my friend like as a business. I know him, he know me. We can sit down, take a lunch or something, because we had that friendship, but not deep friendship. So it's not betrayed to train someone to go against you in some work. If you're a salesperson and one of your friends training another salesperson, you're gonna get mad at him. He's just doing his job.
Wander, does it surprise you the maturity of Nepal?
No, never. Napon was always like that, man. Always
That's
like that.
shocking, though.
Mature, likes to read a little bit. He says like, "Oh, I quit school and everything," but he was like, he draws a lot. He's very smart on that too, man. You know what I mean? Actually, one of our first logo, he drew it for me. You know?
I did for you, for
Yeah.
Leodala, and for
Leodala.
the Gigo.
There we go. Yeah. No, never. I knew it. He was very mature. You know. We were the crazy kids.
All right, so Nepal, I'm just going to be very, very honest with you. So when we do a lot of research, like our prep for this, I have a job working security where I do nothing all day, so I can get out of my house and I study for the podcast. Like that's what I do. I found nothing crazy about you, which is there's nothing.
In this business, that's rare.
Nothing.
I did one thing crazy another day. I was drinking Coca-Cola in the Pepsi cup.
Yes. but it's like usually the fighters and their lifestyle, they've got the foot on the gas pedal and they just keep trying to go faster, faster, and faster. And if you look at the people you fought, I don't think there's many people in the world that have fought as many world champions as you. Like you're in that 1%, the 1% that makes it to the UFC, you're the 1% of the 1%. Like if you look at your record and your body of work,
that don't count that much because the majority of that fighters I lost.
But you got there, dude.
Oh,
yes.
that doesn't count that much.
No.
He's being humble, man. That's humbleness. You know what I mean? That's humbleness. Rumbleness. How do I say it? Humble.
Humble.
He's
you
rumble,
got it. No,
right?
Yeah.
That's it,
Rumble.
man.
He's listening to RDH.
Yeah. But like I say, like Napon was always like that, man. Always like that.
Here, how was rolling with Marcelo Garcia?
Me?
You rolled with him once.
Yeah, I compete with him. Yes, I did. I lost. He went to my back on the end of the fight. He was like, when you get a snake and you put some oil on the snake and try to hold it.
Oh,
that's how it rolled to him. Like you try to was a no gi. So I think I competed with him. Yeah, I did compete with him with gi too. So I lost for two guys that was at top level. Then I'm really mad with that two losses. was Damian Maia and and Marcelo Garcia. So I did lost them in. See, I lose to all the champions. So
No, dude.
So
It's that one person. Go ahead.
I did put the same calf slice than I did on pé de pano. I did put on both of them because that position was one of my best positions when I learned. And both of them didn't tap. Was hurting and didn't tap. So they are not the level like Marcelo Garcia and
Damian
Maia. They didn't tap on that position. And pé de pano screamed at the time they are locked. I don't know if it's the size of the cat or something, but they didn't tap on there.
Joey, we just hit 2 hours. In Nepal, I've got to say, the back half of your career that is loaded with world champions or future world champions. Listen, we just glazed over that. We're gonna wait a little bit. Let's drop this episode. Wander, we gotta finish this career. It's too good, man. It's too freaking good. It's too good, man.
Yeah.
Nepal, man. Wander, thank you for hooking us up. Dude, if you look at your DMs, Nepal, there's 20 messages from me over the last 3 years. Hey, dude, want to do an interview? Dude, you want to do an interview?
The problem is always tomorrow. Yeah. I have a couple guys that ask me for me too, and I never do because I always have something to do.
No, Wander.
My wife is here mad with me because I arrived at the dinner, didn't do nothing, and she's quiet here. Don't bother. She actually went to take a shower now.
Wander, I really appreciate all this, man. Dude, we owe you one, man. Great, and I cannot wait to.
It's always
the Carolinas. I'm coming to meet you, man. I'm coming to get a picture with you, brother.
Please do it, man. Please do it. It would be a pleasure. You know, it's always a pleasure to do a podcast with you guys. All right?
Yeah. Joey,
great to meet you guys. Thank you very much,
gentlemen. Take care. Joey, this is not the second time we've recorded this. That was a fantastic interview, dude.
It was. He's a great guy. Doesn't come off like a fighter at all, which is why we weren't able to dig up any dirt on him.
Dude,
no controversies.
Dude, there's no like business partners that got screwed over. Which happens a lot.
Yep.
In this industry. Like they bring in guys and all of a sudden they got their own gym 2 blocks away. No, dude, nothing. Like this guy's been honorable through and through. 0 online, 0 in YouTube comments. Nothing through message boards, nothing. Just straight up good dude. And he does this. This is his actual first podcast. He just doesn't do them. Wander Braga, MVP.
Wander Braga came through for us.
Yeah. Also, Wander.
He's our next John Peretti, hooking up interviews for us.
Oh yeah. Peretti owes us Maurice Smith. Put a guilt trip on him for that. We want Mo Smith.
All right.
You kind of weave it in a way to where he's got a little bit of guilt on it because I really want Mo Smith. But anyway,
we'll bring it up in the group chat.
Yeah, like I can't. Wait a minute. I thought we did him. Oh, John, you haven't come through. So, all right. So Wander has a new book, a book out. It's not on Amazon. It's a unique link. It's about his life story and his travels. It's supposed to be really good. So I've got the link in the bio for everybody to, if you're into
it. It's not available on Amazon,
No,
right?
No, it's not.
So, okay, you got to hit the link.
It's one of those self-published books where a student helped him edit it and stuff like that. And, limited print. Dude, there's a group of us. I like that stuff because, nobody else has got it. So I enjoy it. So, Joey, one of the things that, wait a minute. Do you have an announcement?
Corrections and apologies.
Wait.
Take.
All right, go ahead.
Are you ready? All right, we're gonna slow walk it. All right. When we were talking about the jungle fight, I challenged.
Wait a minute. The jungle fight where Mark Schultz fought in?
It turns out Mark Schultz was on the first jungle fight card, but SureDog had erased it because it was proven to have been a work. So when I corrected you, I was wrong. You were right. You're the detective. That's why I'm just the dog sitter.
Joey, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you read our comment section, there's a lot of mistakes that I make. There's a lot. So I've got to kind of wallow in this, let it kind of soak in a little bit. I got to enjoy this.
We all make mistakes, but you didn't make this mistake. I made this mistake.
No. Well, here's the thing. We're real information heavy. We're fact and information heavy in this podcast. It's not just one of those conversations where I just read a couple names, you tell me your thoughts, and we go through. Like we get real detailed stuff. And when you do that, mistakes are made, but they're also corrected in real time, which is super important.
Interesting fact on that jungle fight card, Mark Schultz was not the only work. I don't know how many of them were worked, but I have a friend, Shane. He used to be a bouncer with Herb Dean and that whole crew. It was his only MMA fight. They flew him out to Brazil for the jungle fight, and they paid him to take a dive against some Japanese fighter. So that was a crazy card.
So it's either one of the Stephan Bonner interviews. Maybe it was Jeff Neal. I know Jeff Neal hasn't been on here, but I did interview him for like another channel. That was Stephan Bonner's coach. Or it was Sergio Bottarelli. It's one of those where they, in essence, explained to us that the country of Brazil was trying to promote tourism in a certain area, and it was funded by the government. Not paid for by the government, but it was more like funded by it in order to promote tourism. So, Joey, that little beeping tells you I'm at work, and a guy is struggling to go through the metal detector. There we go.
Someone smuggling a gun in? They don't need your attention for that?
They're on the way out.
Okay.
Yeah. So, again, in essence, this is the place I work where I get to study for like 12 hours and I get out of my house. Like, if you were to give me $1 million, I'm not giving this gig up. Like, it takes me out of my house, so no kid, no wife, and I get to like watch videos that would some would argue are very problematic to like mental health.
Like, to be clear, you're talking about MMA fights from 1997, right?
Like Emmanuel Yarborough JV match, like
junior college match against Tom Erickson.
Yes, stuff like that.
I've seen that multiple times. I have to admit. Now, the reason you're bringing up Emmanuel Yarborough is,
I think. Well, we're about a month ahead when we record. Let's keep that in mind. Like, we're minimally 3 weeks. I try to be around 4 or 5. I'm thinking in the next 2 weeks we record Keith Hackney, and Keith is one of the guys that we tried to get like the first match, like our first interview ever, because he's like a local guy.
Right.
He's from Roselle, Illinois, and the only reason I got his phone number was because I called his heating and air conditioning company, and I like pretended that I needed an emergency fix, and he didn't block his number.
Nice.
So when he called me up, so I've been calling this guy and texting him for like 3 years.
Yeah, and we got to do a whole "where are they now" thing. I want to know if he still got the mullet. I got a lot of questions.
Yes. So I think we're going to be good on that. I think we're going to be good.
Yeah. What else we got coming up?
I got a fucking relief behind me, Joey. That's the guy that released me. He's fucking early. He's early.
Tell him to take a walk for 10 minutes.
So we got Gleason Tebow. We're supposed to record. We had talked about recording. We did a little post on Instagram in regards to people with like kind of nefarious backgrounds. Hermes Franca. I believe that you and I are going to record if you're not busy on Friday.
That's going to be an interesting one. I'm down.
Yeah.
I've got something I just booked. I just left having lunch with Herb Dean, who is having dinner with Cecil Peoples. Now, Herb said Cecil will do our show, but Herb wants to sit in with it and help with the interview.
Great. Dude, that'd be great.
So I hadn't talked to you about it yet, but I figured you'd have no problem having another Herb Dean episode.
Oh, dude, Herb's a man, dude.
That's two for one.
Yeah, I really like him, especially like Herb's got those old school karate stories. So I'm cool with that.
Not just that, I mean, the guy grew up in like Jim Crow South, Alabama. Like he's got some incredible stories, and I want to help him tell them.
Not good. So, ladies and gentlemen, please like, share, subscribe. Joey, for some reason, our Apple podcasts, they've all moved to YouTube and Spotify.
Okay.
I think it's because we're including videos on Spotify right now.
All right.
But for some reason, we're not getting like the Apple listens. So, ladies and gentlemen, we honestly we need like, shares, and subscribe. Like we're about 2,000 downloads per episode, which I mean, for what we do, it's pretty good. But we're hoping it's more. Nate Marquardt's coming up as well. I'm going to drop him. It's only 40 minutes long, so I'll probably do a Thursday drop with that. Nate did not like doing the interview at all.
Wasn't that at like 2 a.m?
It was 2:30 in the morning my time.
All right, that must have been fun.
So he gave me 40 minutes, and he's not comfortable. And I think it's because he's closed that chapter and has moved on.
Right.
And I got to do a close for that as well. But anyway, Joey,
leave us a review. We put hours and hours into this. Take 2 minutes. Leave us a review, please.
Be good, brother.
See you.
Check out the full interview on iTunes, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms.